The average dude. Welcome to First Sip. Welcome to episode 471 of Getting Your Mind Right to Start the Day. And it is my pleasure to introduce you to my co-host for the day, stepping in for one Freddie Blanton, Trent McJunkin.
Morning, Daniel. Those are some big shoes to fill for Fred.
Absolutely, absolutely. We've had two folks already step up this week. Aaron Jacobitz stepped up, and then of course Jenny Winnie, and now we've got Trent bringing it in on Wednesday. And I tell you, Trent, you've been doing a lot of facilitation. You've been on a lot of stages lately. Tell me what that experience has been as your career has progressed. You've really started doing more and more of that, haven't you?
It's been really exciting. I really love to be out there in the community and meeting the people who are doing the work, building the world we live in, and maintaining that world, and really just able to build that connection and have those conversations with those people is a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Now, when you're on stage, I know you did one, the automation. You did the facilitation at the automation event. What is it that you find makes a good conversation when you're bringing folks up? Because we're going to have a great conversation today about workforce. What do you like to see when you're having those types of conversations? Anything come to mind?
Well, one thing is I'm always curious because you bring an expert on the stage and you want to see how do they apply their wisdom and experience solving problems. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to solve problems. But also, how do you help the audience? The people who are listening, the people who are live, people who are going to go and listen to this recording later, how do they get the most value out of it? So, kind of a two-sided approach for me.
I love that. I love that. And we're going to get into our conversation here very soon. But that word curiosity, and that's really what opened up this door. We've got some great new initiatives we're going to learn about today, and just a very well rounded conversation about workforce development to get our day started. So, looking forward to it. We've got some commenters. So, let's welcome these folks, some of our normal bus riders. Trent, you've been on the bus for
Oh yeah,
several days now. There's Jacobitz, Pump Day with Trent. Let's
great
go.
guy, great
Oh,
guy.
yeah. Incredible dude. Love his energy. There's George. He's
Oh
ready
yeah,
to roll on the bus. We love it when George is here live. How about this guy, Trent? You know him, don't you?
Paul Pappy. I can't say enough good things about Paul.
Absolutely. Hey, I've gotten to know him through doing this. Again, we've been here, Freddie and I, for 471 days in a row, and it's great to see Paul and Joe. And look at this guy, blast from the past here, Jacob
Oh
Farkas.
man,
Yeah, yeah. Good morning, my positive friends. Today is another day to not give up. Man, it is that attitude, isn't it? You've
oh
had a
yeah.
lot of great teams and worked with a lot of great teams, Trent. Talk to me about attitude. If you've got a team player that comes in with a good attitude, tell me how that makes you feel as a manager.
I believe character and attitude trump skills almost every time. You bring in positivity and you have integrity and that strong character. I pick those people to be on the team every single day. That's where your
Absolutely.
effectiveness comes in.
Yeah, you get the right people on your team, the right people on your bus, and good things happen. It's just it's an energy. It's an energy. There's Susmitha. Love
Yeah.
to see it when Susmitha could make it back on the bus. We've been here a while, and now we've got a new bus rider. There's Whitney. Good morning, Whitney. And I love the little smiley face. Got to throw a little smiley face in there too. So that is fantastic. One of the great things about doing something like this, Trent, you connect with great people and then you end up having conversations after the show and that sort of thing. You and I, we have a lot of great conversations, just things that we're both working on, and we both kind of energize each other with those, with all the different things that we talk about. And something that you said the other day jumped out and stuck with me. And that was this right here: chaos has consequences, but stability creates possibility. What do you think? What does that mean, Trent?
So I think that applies not only in manufacturing, but it applies in society, everyday life. I mean, you think of, I default to a manufacturing plant, but you walk into one and the equipment's unreliable, the morale's low, safety seems optional. There's layers of consequences that are created by chaos, and that really drives down the entire operation. But you add in stability one layer at a time, that's what creates the possibility to turn the tide. You can apply that to staffing. A good staffing partner reduces chaos and they add stability. And that creates possibility for your operation. Same with industrial services, same with fasteners. We had Paul Pappy chime in the comments. A
Absolutely.
stable company that provides stability to your operation, that's the product. It's not fasteners, it's operational stability. That's the product.
Absolutely. And we talk about, when I heard that statement, when I think stability, I think control. And when we have control, we think about energy. We talk about not wasting our energy. And so I think a lot of these things that we talk about, the energy of an employee, the attitude of an employee, and not no friction. And I know that these are things that you talk about, and I love when we can apply these things in different areas. And I think ultimately that's what we have here. And I think it segues really nice into workforce development types of questions. So let's go ahead and invite some other folks up here. We're going to meet some folks that are in and around the people business up here in the upstate. And we're going to start with another bus rider, someone that, hey, if there was an award to give out for the number one bus rider, I may have to give it to this lady right here because
V
of her.
Dub.
Vida, you know it, Trent. Just an incredible energy on the bus, connecting people, meeting with people. That's such a big deal. We really appreciate you doing that, Vicky. Have you always been a connector like that?
Total connector. I want everybody to feel seen, heard, and that yes, I'm a connector, definitely. It's my
Uh,
DNA.
Hey, that's a big deal. When we feel seen and heard, it's a big deal. And then one of the newer bus riders, someone that I'm getting to know again here recently, and that is Julie. Julie, welcome to the bus. It's
Good
great to have you
morning.
here this morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much. I love all the energy in this room every single time. It gets my day started. It really has. It's incredible.
Well, thank you for that, and thank you for being here. And Rachel, great to have you here with us this morning as well. So let's do this for the folks that don't know you, ladies. Let's just give a little introduction about what it is that you do, and then Trent and I will kind of amen from the congregation some of these things. We're going to start with Vicky Watts.
Oh, what I do professionally and personally, I am a mom, and I tend to be everybody's mom. I've done youth ministry, and I got into the employee benefits industry because I was mad about people not understanding what was coming out of their paycheck and have how to benefit from that. So back in 2012, I've had a license since 2003. But in 2012, I got into the employee benefits space. Right now, I create benefits packages. I do the entire benefits packages for my client. I help them administer their benefits as well, because that can be really challenging. And my focus typically is making sure their major medical plan is not putting a chokehold on the bottom line of the company while providing strong benefits to their employees.
Well, I tell you, I'm going to go to my co-host here, Trent. I know you've got some young ones either on the way or here or both. I think health insurance is a big deal, isn't it? Isn't health insurance and benefits the way in which we attract employees and retain employees? That's a really big deal, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, that can be a source of chaos or it can be a source of stability. Because if you're not living in that world every day like Vicky is, it's like learning a foreign language. Trying
It
to
is.
figure out what to do, what's your coverage, but having that stabilizer someone who offers that to your company, like Vicky, reduces your chaos and adds stability for not just you, but for your employees. And that can help directly with your retention.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I love that. I'm gonna segue over to Rachel next. Rachel, I know you've been in the staffing world for quite some time. Tell us about your love of staffing, your love of people, and how those things come together.
Yeah, I always tell people if you don't love people, please do us all a favor and get out of the people business, because even if you grew up in ministry, like I grew up a pastor's daughter, right? It is very natural to love people, to want to help them. It's honestly just part of who I am as a person. It's all I've ever witnessed growing up. But I tell you, there'll be so many weeks by Friday where I'm like, I love people, but I need a break from all of these people till Monday so I can love them again. But no, my passion comes from, for me, I want to be the best that I can be. And I have really good parents. I've been set up for success. I've had to work hard. But I've come in contact with so many people that didn't grow up like I did. They didn't have anybody pour into them, invest them, give them really basic tips on how to interview. Like my dad was a grocery store manager before he was a pastor. So my thing was, my very first interview, I was like, Dad, I need you to drive me to this place because I can't drive and I want to apply for this job. And he's like, okay, well, what time do you want to be there? And I said, I want to be there at 4. We were there at, 3:40. And he said, remember today, because if you're ever not 20 minutes early, you're late. And that has stuck with me. Here I am over 20 years later, and I'm over here telling people the same thing. If you're not early, you're late. Be prepared, all those things. So the neat thing about staffing is you can meet people who are in their 30s, but because they come from a different background, different upbringing, you can still pour into them and help them progress on their career with really simple things that you may not even think about anymore. A lot of times the advice I give, I'm like, I guess because I live in it every day, for me, it's like, this is common sense. I can do this in my sleep. But for a lot of people, it's intimidating going through the application or interviewing process.
Absolutely. I love that answer. Thank you for joining the conversation this morning. And last, I would love to introduce and learn a little bit more about Julie and what her initiative is. And actually, when I'll say this, Julie, when Trent and I were speaking, and he said chaos has consequences, but stability creates possibility. I thought a little bit more. I knew you had an initiative, and I'm so excited to learn a little bit more about that. Share with folks what you do.
Thanks, Dan. Rachel, let me just, I guess, start with you. Like, I'm just really grateful to hear someone else in the industry talk that kind of same language, because I'm sure I don't have to tell you or anyone, right? There's bad people that work in every industry, and when you are in the industry of people, and to your point, you don't like people, that ends up creating an environment where that product or that service is done really badly, right? And I think, unfortunately, that staffing has kind of gotten a hard hit over the years that I've been in it, which was a total of 12 in direct staffing, right? And then some corporate recruiting jobs. Just watching individuals and kind of the dynamic of people that do need more direction. And I think that the more broken our culture gets, the more fragmented our systems get, the more that stuff continues to kind of snowball, the more of that type of hand-holding, for lack of better terms, is going to be necessary. And my journey sent me on about 3 years ago, coming out of corporate, and set me on a kind of initiative, to use Danny's word, that led me to really see some of the when you work in the nonprofit space, you have to start digging into statistics, right? And some of those statistics I began to see very alarming. So what started to me as prevention of trafficking and exploitation kind of began to open up a world of all these kind of crossover statistics, if you will, right? And the vulnerabilities that are driving the human trafficking in our culture. So if you just look at just that topic alone, you've got individuals that are being trafficked in our country that end up in the criminal justice system, right? That record now is going to create chaos for that individual, even if they want to stabilize themselves. So unless we capture that individual and identify the fact that they are now a trafficking victim inside of our criminal justice system, which is likely not happening at every turn, when you look at 91% of trafficking victims end up with a criminal background. So we're not capturing that statistic, right? So if you just look at that statistic alone and look how people are able to stabilize themselves, as we continue to kind of break at the seams, you have to begin to consider, how are we helping to develop these people? How are we investing in them so we can get a return on investment, right? For all of the money and all the funding and all of the resources that we're putting into some of these spaces during difficult transitions.
I think it's a very the timing could not be better for something like this, because I hear so many folks, and I'd like, y'all are the experts on this, anything from manufacturing and on down the line. We talk about workforce. Companies need people and people need jobs, and for some reason they're not finding each other. Why do y'all think that is, right? Everybody's saying we need great people, and then and these people are saying I can't find a job. How can we fix that, Vicky Watts?
Very rarely great people start out great. Most great people are developed. They've gotten a door opened, a leg up, somebody who mentored them. So I think that great people are developed. And so, especially, when I listen to Julie, I think about these people that have been compromised, that have been incarcerated, that are just come from a family, even background where they didn't receive the type of guidance that would open the door in the beginning for them, and they're simply not prepared. I just spent a month with a young girl in my house who it's hard for me to really understand that she doesn't have some of the skills that she should have. She's 15 years old. She's freshman in high school, but I could see all that trouble happening for her right now if somebody doesn't get ahead of that and begin to mentor her.
Absolutely. Trent McJunkin, I mean, I'm thinking about your quote right now. Chaos has consequences, but stability creates possibility. So we have folks that are in a situation where it's a chaotic upbringing. They don't have possibility because they don't have structure. They don't learn the skills that they need to learn.
Absolutely.
Is that one of the things that you were thinking about with that quote?
Yeah. I mean, we talk about workforce, talk about manufacturing, but we're talking about humans. And something that everyone on this screen and everyone who is watching or listening can resonate with is that we live in a world that is more disconnected and more broken and more disenchanted than ever before. And what is the difference between those who thrive and those who struggle? It's the level of chaos that they're in. And a lot of times they don't have a choice in the level of chaos that exists in their world. But what makes a difference? It's stability. And stability isn't just a resource. It's not a house to live in. It's not a job. I think it boils down to mentorship and moral formation and instilled belief. When someone comes alongside and says, I see something in you that you may not yet see in yourself, and pours into those individuals,
Amen.
that creates the possibility and increases your probability to change your situation in life. And that's why we're all here. Whether that's
Preach.
manufacturing, it's nonprofit, it's staffing, benefits, I don't care.
Right.
You are developing humans to be better humans and go impact the world.
Gosh, I mean, how good does that feel? Somebody say, I see that you have possibility in you. I mean, shoot, I wish somebody called me today and tell me that, right? I mean, that feels good. I don't care who you are. So let me, I want to say this. If not a people person, get out of the business, right? I want to hear what Rachel thinks about that. And all of you, the folks that I invited today, I wanted people that I got the feeling that really cared about what they're talking about, right? Because we know that money is with the people too, but it just so happens that people need these things. And so it's a slippery slope sometimes.
Yeah.
Rachel, sorry, I
No,
talk too
that's
much
okay.
sometimes.
That's okay. I'm trying not to tear up over here because I do care about this part. Because for me, the one thing I love about staffing, because there's a lot of things to hate about staffing and recruiting. It's just like there's anything else. But the one thing that I love is I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer, but I can make just as big of an impact without going back to school. Because when you take away the opportunity for someone to take care of themselves and their families, you will see the most broken people because you feel helpless. And I've been in those rooms where those men have come in out the plant. They've been at the same plant for 20 years, gotten laid off. They're not going home till they got another job because they got 4 kids at home. I've been that person that's like, well, I was about to leave for the day and we're about to close, but this is more important. We're going to sit here and we're going to call through everybody I know because we're going to need you to have a job offer when you get home. And the thing about that is if you see that enough and you see when you do believe in somebody, when you do say, hey, listen, like I can't get you something today, but I believe in you. I'm going to go to bat for you. Give me a couple days. When you have all these things, you see that hope in people's eyes. You also see the fear where sometimes people have told them that and haven't followed through and just haven't called them back. And so people are reacting from their experiences. They may not be my experiences. You know, I'm the type of person that can call a few people and I'm not having an interview to get my next job. I'm having a conversation and I'm accepting a job. Not everybody can do that because they haven't built up to that level yet. And so they're starting from the bottom every time they have to leave. And for me, I get teary-eyed when even internally in staffing, I've seen people and I say the kid in them where for a moment you're like, is this really about work or is this about something that has nothing to do with work? And you love those people hard because they got to turn around and love the people they're working with. So when you love your internal people, the best compliment you can get, my favorite thing is, you know, when I go to leave a place and my staff says, you changed my life. Like, I believe in me because you believe in me. Okay, well, guess what? Money comes and goes. Titles come and go. But that, I can carry that with me wherever I go. You know, because if you're making that kind of impact and you turn around and say, now go and be that person for other people, you just spread. And then you spread again. And then you spread again. So it's like, you know, Daniel, we've never even technically worked together. Trent, we've never, but you guys have been in my corner very quickly. As soon as you were like, okay, this girl checks out. She's got a good reputation. Well, now I'm encouraged every time I see your name. I'm super supportive every time I see Trent tagged in any kind of speech. I'm like, I'm going to go on there and watch it just because it's him. I may have no idea what he's talking about, but it doesn't matter. It's Trent. He's a good guy. Same thing with Daniel. It's like, you get those kind of people, man, you're unstoppable. You decide you want to switch up, change, whatever, you're well connected. We have to remember, not everybody's like that. Not everybody has those friendships. Like even outside of family, my friends know way more about my work than my family, you know, and that's how it should be. So for me, it's like, this is one of the best win-win-win. If you love people and you can help a client who is a person who is stressed as well, that's got a job to do, you can help somebody provide for their family. And then in between, you get to look like the hero. I'm like, come on, guys. Like, I'm always shocked when people are like, oh, I don't want to get into recruiting. I'm like, I know why I wanted to get into it. And there is so much opportunity when you do things the right way, when you do care. It's endless. I mean, it's kind of hard to leave it, you know?
Hey, all of that. If I was in staffing, I would be super fired up right now, right? Because but we talk about chaos and stability, and the truth is the workforce in general is in a state of chaos. Artificial intelligence has everybody from the accountant to the attorney to the coder, right? It's not just it's all jobs, it's all humans. We are in a state of chaos. I want to segue over to Vicki Watts here. It's been a great conversation. If not a people person, get out of the business. I want you to talk about the health insurance and the benefit side of it. When I know that you're someone that really cares about these employees, and sometimes the employers care. Sometimes you may care more than the employer. I don't know. But the truth is, people need to care in that side of things too. What comes to your mind, Vicki?
I think that employers, they do care, but insurance, they're like, I can't tell you how many people have told me when you say the word insurance, my mind begins to hurt. I don't want to think about that. And when I think about my clients, who are the employers, I think about the fact that they have, as a business owner myself, thousands of things going on, different things going on all the time. So they very much care about their employees. And, but I see a different side of their employees. Speaking to Julie and Rachel in staffing and helping people get into a position where they have a job. Sometimes I'm talking to people that have never had benefits ever before in their lives. Like one of the things that I don't like at all. So you said, hey, if there's anything you don't like, be sure and bring it up. One of the things that I hate, I cannot stand a dental plan that has a 6 or 12 month waiting period on major services. Oh my goodness. So right here, you have an individual who says, man, I really need dental. I've got some stuff going on and I need to have it taken care of. But oh, by the way, you have to wait 6 to 12 months while you're paying that premium before. I don't implement dental plans that have that. I don't implement dental plans that have a missing tooth clause either. Oh, ever heard of that one? That is, if you have a missing tooth when you got on this plan, we ain't paying for it now. So I do not implement plans like that because there's people out there that were just hoping for a great job to be able to have benefits for the first time in their lives. So that I'm very passionate about. I have a young man right now, and so I even have young people who have gotten a job, and I'm like, he's so sweet. He texted me while I was right here, and he calls me Miss Vicki. And he's newly married and they just bought a house and they just had a baby. And he's like, Miss Vicki, I need to add the baby. We lost the health insurance that we had and I need to add him to the plan. And so he calls me when he has an insurance question, he calls me. I become their insurance lady a lot of times. And I care very much about that. So I help my clients in that way. I help them not just implement a retention and attraction strategy of a benefits package, but I educate and I stay connected and I do claims advocacy and support for their employees. That because it's important to me, not because I have to.
You get involved. That's what I really have taken from some of the things that you've shared. You're involved. You're not just going through the motions, collecting the paycheck. You're really thinking about, hey, this person, the stress that they would go under. Julie, I want to go to you, and you're talking with HR leaders, trying to connect with folks. Tell us what the challenge has been in sharing some of these things. Tell us anything that's on your heart about when you go out and you talk to people about the things that you're facing when you have conversations.
So I want to just to set that answer up. I want to go back to your question about why do we continue to say there's no people to put into these jobs?
Yes.
And speaking to that, and I'm sure Rachel could speak to this as well. I really strongly feel that gone are the days where we can expect people to just walk through the door specifically in some of the trade spaces, where construction, manufacturing, your even housekeeping, janitorial services, all those types of spaces that are landscaping that we desperately need, right? For people to just walk in the door. That's where that developmental piece of people that we've all kind of touched on, I think really comes to fruition. I think we're leaving a lot on the table when we're expecting people to just walk through the door. I have changed cultures of like literally atmospheres inside of organizations because I chose to sit at SC Works in Charleston and scrape the bottom of the barrel and just choose to invest in them and develop them. And those people, so many of those people went on to get hired on permanently with one of the largest manufacturing places in Charleston at the time. And so it's just a great experience, but it also goes to prove kind of what I'm saying. Like, we need to invest in people if we want them to invest in what we have in our current infrastructure. And then challenges, I think probably the biggest challenge on the employer side is when you look at some of these reentry spaces and you look at some of this development, is understanding how to do that with some type of trauma awareness, right? And being aware of how trauma really does affect people. And then we got to let go of the stigmas. We got to let go of the judgment. We got to let go of the fact that we somehow believe that that person ended up in jail on purpose and that they did not come from a ridiculous background that most likely ended up in there, or there's not some type of serious mental condition that ended up being the result, right? So yeah, we've got to let go of kind of the stigma and I think judgment of assuming we know why people are in the positions that they're in or they're having the challenges that they're having. It's just not fair. It just straight up is not fair.
Well,
Can I piggyback on that for?
please,
I'm sorry.
absolutely.
I feel like I'm about to preach over here. So, okay. One thing I know about Vicky, and I don't know her super well, but we've been connected for a little while, and I know people that know her think the world of her. One thing I was thinking the whole time she was talking is sometimes we're not doctors, but we should be thinking, okay, we need to treat the full patient. So like I just said about internal people, you get to know those people. Those people they're not just a number, they're not a robot, they're not a worker. So the neat thing about staffing is I see some people do really well with internal people. They build relationships over time, and then they care, and then they are so patient and kind with internal people. Sometimes when they shouldn't. Sometimes when they're a cancer and they need to get cut out. But I've also seen the flip side, where a plant will fire somebody in 3 days because they couldn't get it right. A job that is hard, that is not, glamorous, that doesn't pay maybe what it should for what you have to deal with. But when you're thinking about people, for me, it's more like I see a missed opportunity with young people because young people have a rep about not caring, not being responsible. I have met so many good young people who care, who want to be good. They just don't know what they don't know. So you got to prepare them. And I cannot tell you how many people, it blows my mind. I've been doing staffing for over 11 years in Greenville, South Carolina. People think Greenville is the end all be all, got all the melting pot, everybody moving here. Do you know that I have not gone 1 week in probably a solid 6 months where there wasn't at least one homeless person, one person unhoused, living in their car. They literally come in their car and then they get made fun of because they smell bad or they don't have the right clothes. I've had women who have left their homes, to piggyback on Julie. I've had people that they had to leave their homes scared. They don't even have clothes that are appropriate to go to the jobs that I need. And I could stop there. I could be like, well, listen, you need to get you some clothes and you need to come back before I can help you. Okay. But for me, it's like, I have 4 sisters. Am I going to do that to this woman? It's very apparent she's got bruises on her. It doesn't take 2 seconds to say, do you need help getting clothes for this interview? Yes. And contact the local church, contact a nonprofit. I have made friends with so many people. When I opened my own staffing agency, I had a closet in the back. I had people donating stuff. I had workers' boots. Now listen, here's the thing. People burn you. So I also see the other side of things where there are some candidates where I think the best thing you can teach them is that if you repeatedly miss out on an opportunity, I can't want more for you than you want for yourself. So I'm not the nonprofit girl. I'm not the hold your hand completely because I've seen it too many times. And what I tell young people is you got a clean slate. you may not have history, but you also have a clean slate, my friend. I've worked in this town long enough that there's some people, they walk in a building and they get scared when they see me because they've burned me at 3 different places. They know I know their face. They're not getting a job in the state. You know what I mean? Not through me, not through anyone I know. And I think that comes with, sometimes the lesson is, so don't be afraid to also, you can't just baby everyone. We're not all winners. We're not good, and that doesn't help anybody. You got to keep people safe. And that's another thing in the blue collar industry too. There, you have those extra things. So the biggest thing I think we could all agree on, I'm hoping Vicki, Julie, everybody would back me up on this, is when I tell people is, you're getting impatient with this older guy that you know, ain't no way it's safe for him to go to work. Treat him like you would your grandpa. You see a young kid come in, there's some misspelling on their resumes. They're not dressed just right. They smell like they ate pickles or whatever on the way to the interview. Okay, treat them like your kid brother or your child if you've got kids. Like, think about it. And I think for me, it doesn't matter what ethnicity you come from. It doesn't matter. The good thing about me is I love all people. So I can find a way to relate and care about you like you're someone that I love. And if people would pause and say, how would I want someone to treat me or someone that I love? And then do that, well, we would eliminate a lot of turnover and problems across many, many boards, you know?
Yes. I think sometimes we have to really, I mean, not sometimes, but often we have to call people to a higher level. Nobody's ever called them to a higher level anyway. They've never experienced that. And I really believe that that is part of mentoring somebody, is to say, hey, listen, this is what I see in you. These are the skills and abilities I feel like that you were gifted with, and you have to develop those. And so I want to help you understand that you need to elevate your perspective, and you need to be honorable, and you need to show up and do your best. And we need people to, I mean, let me just advocate for a moment for, team building, recognition and rewards programs. Those are, really simple things that employers need help with implementing. Like I said before, they have so many different things going on. Their employees, they've got, all kinds of stuff going on. So they need assistance in implementing something like that. So that's a powerful thing to do to help them understand that track can help these employees see where it is that it's possible for them to go, and then providing the benchmarks and the touch points and the steps to get them, hey, let me elevate your perspective where I see that you have the potential to go, and then let me provide the stepping stones for you to get there, and the accountability to make sure that you don't fall off. So.
And Vicki, you might be the first person to give them a roadmap to success, because we've all had that, somebody do that for us. I've had some of my, I would say, hardest bosses or managers, the ones that literally just, I was like, man, I can't do no right. And then they give me one little thing like, hey, you're wow, that was really good. Keep doing that. And it's like, all of a sudden I'm like, I'm not even showing up for a paycheck. I've just realized I'm showing up for the praise. Give me the feedback. You don't know. You got to figure out what motivates people and then give them a map.
I love that. Hey, Trent, I've heard of so many good things here. I know you have. What's on your mind right now as you hear these ladies talk about, with so much passion, about what's important to them?
I think it all boils down to, you have to care. We're all in the people business. Whether you're working with robots or benefits or putting people in a job, it's all a people business. And I would challenge everyone to go out and see how you can add stability to the humans that you work with every day.
That's good.
How can you minimize the chaos? I don't care if you're in HVAC or landscaping or staffing, or you're trying to sell fasteners to manufacturers, whatever. How do you add stability? And don't make up fake rules. It may not be in your handbook. It may just be, if this was my little brother or my little sister, what do I wish somebody would do for them? Go
You,
do
you
that.
can't write that down in the handbook.
Yeah.
That's beyond the handbook.
Go be that person.
Yeah.
Go tell them, well, let's go to Walmart and buy you some steel toes, and then your first paycheck, we're going to talk about money management. I mean, over 15 years ago, I had a frontline supervisor tell me about this guy named Dave Ramsey. He said, you're about to make more money than you've ever made in your life, and you need to figure out how to manage it. Go listen to this guy named Dave Ramsey. He comes on the radio at 4 p.m. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, great. So he didn't have to. He didn't have to tell me anything. I was just at the same building he was for 12 hours a day. But for some reason, he chose to invest in me and mentor me.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I want to say this, when we talk about folks that show initiative, I know someone that's in our F3 group that took a chance on someone that had a tough upbringing, who is now, he said, my company would not be what it is had I not taken the chance on this person. But they showed initiative. They were showing up every day, working out. They were being that person before. So to your point, Rachel, when you have someone that's showing initiative, they're already showing where their heart is. This has been a fantastic episode. So many great comments. What
So
I would
many
like to
great
do, Joe, and so I couldn't get to all the comments because I was trying to pay attention to everybody. But Joe basically wants to know your why, right? Everybody has shown a lot of passion here. So just in a very kind of condensed way, because we're all running out of time, just share with me what your why is, where your passion comes from. And we will start with Trent McJunkin. We're going to start with Trent.
If I can be who I needed at different milestones in my career, I've won. I want to be that for somebody else.
Absolutely. Yeah, rinse and repeat. I love it. Vicki Watts.
I Trent has totally that's what I would say. I mean, just somebody to, because I was that person too. I was that person that needed the guidance. I was that kid that could have gone off the rails if somebody hadn't have said, hey, I see something in you and here's what you need to do. So I've had great people in my life who have spoken into my life and guided me. And so that's probably where it comes from, that my desire to help my clients and make sure that their bottom line, somebody cares about their bottom line and somebody cares about their employees. And because I care about the big picture, all those pieces come into the big picture. And because somebody paid attention to me and spoke into my life and gave me a leg up too.
Rachel, thank you, Vicki. Rachel, where does your passion come from?
I think for me, I come from a big loving family. And even in the midst of that, I worked to feel like I meant something. I worked to build my self-worth.
Yeah.
And I felt like I had to earn love. I had to be good at everything. And that will run you into the ground. That'll ruin your life.
Yeah.
But if you come across people who really love you and they see that in you, they can help you turn it around. So for me, I'm really passionate about these people at work because for so long, work was my life. And it took me getting sick and losing my business to learn that I was literally the most wealthy person in the area. It just wasn't finances. I am so wealthy in my relationships. And when I tell people now, when they're these young people and they're worried about money, they're worried about something, I'm like, money comes and goes. And you know what's real power? When you've done so much good for people, you never have to be afraid because you could call so many people. And then you'll have people call you, try to help you that you've never met because they know people that know about you. And so for me, it's like when you pour into people, no offense, that's when you're blessed. That's when your life turns out the way it should, because when you're in your purpose, when you're serving others, when you're not self-centered, people know the difference. Just like when Trent was like, you got to care. Trent has worked for people who say they care. And I'm sure they don't care. I've done it too. I know the difference. I don't ever want to be accused of the person that didn't care. Let me be the one that cries in the room. I want to care the most. Because for me, at the end of the day, relationships matter more than anything else in this life, period.
Oh man, good stuff. Julie, I'm going to close it out with you. What do you think?
I will also try to fight back tears, but I think that my why, there's been no greater satisfaction for me than changing someone's life with a job. And that is just the pure truth of it. And that is because someone did it for me, right? I mean, literally, they changed my life when they gave me a set of keys to a restaurant that at the time I probably didn't deserve, but they saw something in me that was like, that girl's a leader. She's going to start running my shifts. And it was the trajectory that made me see something in myself that I had never seen before. And there's so much power and significance in doing that for someone. So that is my why. I want to be able to change people's lives the way that someone changed mine.
Man, what a fantastic way to start the day. We talk about the human being game, and this is the human being game with business. It all goes together. Trent McJunkin, I love this line. Chaos has consequences, but stability creates possibility. I'm going to give you our final thoughts on this Wednesday. What is today? Is it Tuesday or Wednesday?
It's Wednesday.
Oh, it's pump day. Hey, without my Freddie, I lose track of time. You know, he's usually doing his pump day. Trent McJunkin, you close us out on this pump day.
We've made it 46 minutes without too many tears. It's been a good one. It's been a great first sip. Go out and be who you wish you had. Everybody else.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you so much, everybody. Fantastic day. We've got another great episode tomorrow. Stay tuned. Have a great day, everybody.
Awesome.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Let's roll.